Hi everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at this 2022 Kia Carnival. The Carnival is all new for 2022. This is the next generation of Kia's minivan. In prior generations it was marketed here in the United States as the Sedona, but in redesigning it, Kia has opted to also rename it the Carnival, which is what their van has been marketed in foreign markets for quite some time now, I believe. The Carnival is one of 4 minivans on sale in the United States today, the others being the Toyota Sienna, the Honda Odyssey, and the Chrysler Pacifica, which I guess in its lower trim levels is marketed as the Voyager. Each of those vans emphasizes a different thing. All 4 of them are very family friendly, but when it comes to powertrain and driven wheels and design, they each lean into different areas. The Carnival here, to me, seems to lean into design more than anything. It's only available with a V6 engine, it's only available with front-wheel drive, but more than anything, it appeals to somebody who may have also been considering an SUV. As you can see, it has some SUV-like design characteristics, and then just in terms of overall exterior design and interior design, I think it's probably the nicest looking minivan on the market. So on that note, let's do a tour of the Carnival and then take it for a drive. The new Kia Carnival certainly wears a bold design, starting up front here, and you can see that the headlights are integrated with the grille. So this is all grille right here. These are like little chrome squares, but you've got a headlight here, 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 and then a side marker there, and then an LED strip running across there. Going down the side profile, and you can really start to see how they've tried to make the Carnival feel a little bit more like an SUV. You can see that there's a black plastic piece that runs all the way along the bottom of the vehicle, and especially in this area right here, it serves to give the impression that this thing has a lot more ground clearance than it really does. This one has black wheels and it has this milky gray exterior. Then there's a rather interesting brushed aluminum kind of chrome trim piece going from the C-pillar here all the way back to the D-pillar, and there's even this kind of hexagonal texture to it. Moving around back, I like this single piece taillight housing. Here's another take on Kia's new logo. This one has a brushed aluminum finish to it. And the only badge on this thing is this Carnival script right here. Because like I said, not a hybrid, doesn't have all-wheel drive. You can only get the Carnival with a basic V6 engine and front-wheel drive, so they don't really have much else to show back here. The new Carnival is offered in 4 trims. This is the 3rd trim, so it's the second nicest, I guess you could say. It's the SX model. Power tailgate. As for the rear here, there is a 3rd row seat under here, but before we get to that, you've got a cubby here, spare tire toolkit here, 115 volt AC inverter there, and then a 12 volt outlet. So the 3rd row stashes under here. We're gonna pull out this cargo mat, which does a really nice job at hiding kind of the ugliness of this 3rd row, but you've got a 60 side and a 40 side. Folds pretty flush, not perfectly flush, but to deploy this 3rd row, you first grab this handle and then lift it out. It's a little bit awkward, but once you get some momentum behind it, it goes in place really nicely. And then pull on this strap here, and it sticks to the back of the seat with Velcro. And then pull up the headrests, and we'll do the same here. Once you do it 2 or 3 times, you really get the hang of it. It's a pretty decent design. And then once the 3rd row is up, you've got this massive storage compartment right here. So if you had to go on a road trip with, well, up to 8 people, you could stash quite a bit of luggage in this depression that's left when the 3rd row is in place there. Before we climb inside, let's take a look at the key here. So Kia's key design is actually pretty neat. They've got all the buttons arranged on the side here, and especially the lock button. And here's unlock, power tailgate, and panic, but then when they need to add more buttons, they're forced to add them on this face right here, which kind of kills the design to me. This feels like an afterthought, but here's remote start and then power operation for both of the sliding side doors. So I guess they make the best of it. Just kind of funny to see these 3 buttons just stuck right here. We'll take a look at the window sticker here. So you can see this is a 2022 Kia Carnival SX. As equipped, it comes in at $42,770 when you factor in that $1,175 destination fee. Under the hood is a basic 3.5-liter gas V6 paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Puts out 290 horsepower. Fuel economy, according to the EPA, is 19 city, 26 highway, and 22 combined. That's really nothing too remarkable. Just like the exterior, the interior here in the Carnival is actually pretty nice. You can see you've got this nice big 12.3-inch diagonal infotainment screen. Gauge cluster is not digital. That is added with the SX Prestige trim, but you still get a little information readout there, and then your speedometer and tachometer. Door panels feel pretty nice. So this is a softer touch, kind of vinyl-y material. Then there's more of this brown leather, or once again, probably vinyl material on the doors. Switchgear all feels really good. Steering wheel layout is pretty nice. You've got volume, tune buttons over here, and then radar cruise control and a semi-autonomous, at least temporarily semi-autonomous highway driving system right there. Over on the center console, traditional shift lever for that 8-speed automatic transmission. Here's your parking brake, auto hold. This cycles through a few different drive modes. You've got normal, eco, sport, and smart. We'll go into normal. Heated and ventilated seats, parking sensor button. And then this brings up your 360-degree camera system, which is fairly high resolution. There's that cargo mat that I threw out on my driveway there, and you can make it out pretty well. HVAC controls are right here. So you've got temperature, fan speed, sync, button to turn on the rear climate. You can also control the rear climate via that little panel right there. One thing that kind of bugs me about this interior layout is that it's a little bit difficult to reach the touchscreen. That goes for the touchscreen and then the volume and the tuning knobs. So my seat's actually a little bit far forward here, but when I'm driving, I would have the seat in about this position. And that means you've really got to reach the volume. You've especially got to reach the tuning knob, and the same kind of goes for the touchscreen. So that feels a little bit like a design oversight. Ergonomics here are generally good, but when it comes to the infotainment system and the volume and tuning knobs, they're just a little bit far out of reach. And I have relatively long arms, so I can't imagine that many people would disagree with me here. That about covers the front seating area, I think. Let's check out the second and third rows. So there's a fair amount of configurability to the second row here. You can slide these seats, well, they're almost all the way back, but you can slide them forward. And then the nice thing about this middle seat is that it's independent. So 40, 20, 40. And I believe you could just remove this and have kind of pseudo captain's chairs back here. But what's also nice is that it slides forward. So if you had a baby in a child seat, you could put the child seat in the middle here, and then say the front passenger could like interact with the baby and like grab their feet and stuff while you're driving. So it kind of brings the baby a little bit closer to the front seat passengers. 115 volt AC inverter back here as well. Then there's a 12 volt outlet. This is a Hyundai and Kia trademark to have USB ports in the front seats right here for the second row passengers. I'm a little bit disappointed to see USB-A in this vehicle. It's a brand new design. I would have liked to see USB-C, but either way, every single port in this Kia Carnival is USB-A. Two cup holders there, and then a little slot for a phone. We're gonna slide this back. This SX model comes with entertainment screens in the backs of the front seats. So you've got a bunch of different options here. There's Netflix, there's an HDMI port, there's news, there is YouTube, Twitch, sounds of nature. This is a Hyundai and Kia thing, so rainy day. Birds singing with sea, night in the country, cricket conversations, calm sea waves, rainy day. Yeah, so plenty of options there. One thing that I don't love about, how do you get out of this? One thing that I don't love about these systems is that, say Twitch goes away in a couple of years, it probably won't, or say Netflix is purchased and rebranded. What becomes of this interface here? Generally, I avoid entertainment systems that are built into the vehicle because look 3, 4, 5 years down the road, and this is definitely going to feel dated, and it's going to result in this car being thrown away maybe sooner than it would be were it not filled with modern day internet technology that's certain to change in the coming years. Anyway, though, plenty of other family friendly stuff. Here on the door, you've got a kind of big, maybe not quite big enough for all water bottles, but a bottle holder there. You grab this and the door slides open. There's a nice big sunshade here, and there's also a sunshade for the third row as well. Overhead, there's a camera system so you can monitor kids in the back seat. There's also an intercom system. You push this button and you can use voice control from the second row as well. That's kind of clever. There's air vents and then pretty big light button there. And then, like I said, you can control HVAC for the second row from this panel as well. Let's hop in the third row. So I'm going to first pull this middle seat forward because we don't need it to be that far back. And then to get into the third row, so this creates kind of an odd situation here. Grab that and then boom, your headrest goes right into this infotainment screen right here, which I don't know how many hits this thing can take before it maybe breaks, but whatever. Climbing into the third row. That's also kind of odd. There we go. I would have liked to see this seat slide back just by me grabbing on it here, but to get it to slide back, you have to pull on this, which feels kind of feels like an oversight. But anyway, here in the third row, and I have just barely enough room. Generally, you'll find kids sitting in the third row, so this would be plenty of room for them. On the back of this middle seat piece here, there is a cup holder and then a tray, or kind of a table. As for features here in the third row, once again, there's a USB-A port, 2 cup holders, and then a little slot. Move over here, and there's 1 cup holder, and then 2 slots. Maybe you could put something like a snack right here. And then, like I mentioned, there's even a sunshade for these third row seats. Not something you see in every minivan. Yeah, how are you? Maybe I'm not doing something right here, but there we go. These things are gonna take a beating. Okay, the new Kia Carnival. This thing drives pretty nicely. The benefits of the 3.5 liter V6 are power, and the power is certainly there when you want it. Front wheel drive, there's a little bit of torque steer if you really hammer it, and all 290 horsepower are going into those front wheels. You get a little bit of torque steer. That's to be expected. There's 50. I didn't exactly have the pedal all the way down. There's a little bit of traffic through here, but it's not fast, but it's not slow. It's exactly what you probably expect out of a minivan. Cabin fit and finish is pretty good. Like I said, all these surfaces and materials used are pretty nice. Still though, just the infotainment and these controls right here are just a little bit far away. So like to adjust the volume, I have to bring my back off of the seat here, and I don't want the seat any further forward. My feet are perfectly positioned for the pedals. The steering wheel is exactly where it should be. You just have to reach too far, especially to get to the tune knob, but also to get to the infotainment touchscreen and to the volume knob. That's really bothered me over the course of the week with this vehicle. Feels like a big design oversight, especially when you consider that I'm a bigger person than many of the people that will be driving the Carnival. Other than that, though, everything feels really solid. The sounds are nice. The powertrain feels good. 8-speed automatic shifts pretty smoothly. This thing drives like a nice cross between a sedan and an SUV. The driving position's a little bit higher up, but handling and things like that feel pretty good. That was our first speed bump there. We took it at just about 15 miles per hour. We'll hit the second one a little bit harder. I'm gonna go 30. Car felt really planted there. Third speed bump is a little bit bigger than the others, so for that one, we'll go 20 miles per hour. Yeah, everything felt pretty good. One thing I have noticed, when that third row seat is fully folded flat, when it's stowed, you get a little rattling from it when you go over those speed bumps, but it's not really that big of an issue. Backup camera is fairly high resolution. It's a little bit washed out, but you get this really nice 360-degree top-down view, and then the backup camera itself is, like I said, pretty high res. Hyundai and Kia have some of the best backup cameras in the industry. So there's your look at the 2022 Kia Carnival. This is one of 4 minivans on the market. We'll run through them real quickly. You've also got the Toyota Sienna that was redesigned just last year, and it's now available exclusively as a hybrid, where it gets something like 38 mpg combined, something around there. That's way better than any of its competitors. And you can get the Sienna with all-wheel drive. So those are 2 big selling points of the Sienna. On top of that, you've got Toyota's reputation for reliability. A lot of people just buy Toyotas because they're familiar, because they're consistent, and because they're perceived to be really reliable. There's also the Honda Odyssey. The Odyssey has been one of the best sellers in the minivan segment for 2 decades now. That said, the current gen Odyssey has been out for a few years. There's really nothing that sets it apart. It's only offered with a V6, it's only offered with front-wheel drive, but that said, it's just been a really consistent offering in this segment, and it leads the way when it comes to new minivan tech. But that said, it's kind of starting to fall behind, but the Odyssey is still going to sell well. Similar to Toyota, people trust Honda, so I think the Odyssey is another safe bet in this segment. There's also the Chrysler Pacifica, which I guess in its lower trims is sold as the Voyager, but the Pacifica offers, once again, tons of family-friendly features. It's available with 2 different powertrains, so you can get it with a 3.6 liter V6 with either front or all-wheel drive, or you can get it with a plug-in hybrid V6 that's only offered with front-wheel drive. So that's an interesting proposition there. The Pacifica also offers Chrysler's really clever stow-and-go seating system that allows you to fold the second row flat into the cargo floor, just like you can the third row. It's not available in the hybrid, and I don't know that it's available with the all-wheel drive model, but either way, that's another selling point of the Pacifica. On top of that, it just, like all the other minivans, offers plenty of family-friendly features. That brings us to the Carnival. This van doesn't really do anything new. Uses a basic 3.5 liter V6. It only comes with front-wheel drive. The third row folds flat into the floor. Those are things that you can get from pretty much any other minivan. It's really nothing special there. Same goes with family-friendly features. One thing that does stand out about the Carnival is this middle seat in the second row that can be slid forward. I think that would be really appealing to anyone who has a kid in a car seat. It makes it easy for, say, the front passenger to access the kid, or to, you know, whatever, play with the kid's feet or touch the kid while you're driving, which I imagine is appealing to parents. I'm not a parent, but if I had a kid, a newborn, I think that would appeal to me. But beyond that, there's really nothing new here. Yeah, you can get an intercom. It comes with a camera system so you can talk to and look at the people in the back, but other minivans offer that. What does make the Carnival stand out, though, is design. Kia has clearly prioritized making this the most attractive minivan in the segment. I don't think many people would disagree with me there. Same goes for the interior. This one isn't fully loaded. It comes in at just under $43,000, but it's got a really nice interior that makes this van feel a little bit more special than something like a Honda Odyssey or a Toyota Sienna. You get this nice brown leather. You get some nice design up front here. You get this nice big infotainment panel, and then just the surfaces and things like that all feel pretty good. So I think the person who buys a Carnival is someone who values design. I think any of these vans on the market are going to appeal to families, but someone who doesn't necessarily need all-wheel drive, may not want a hybrid. I don't know why you wouldn't, but some people don't want a hybrid. And then someone who places a priority on design is going to like the Carnival here. So I think that sums up the 2022 Kia Carnival. Thanks for watching.